gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. This is Amber Haq with Channel 52, back with another very, very important person for our city of Paterson. Who else that could be? It's our Mayor, Andre Syed. Thank you, Mayor, for joining us tonight.
Commissioner, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for having me on.
You are very welcome. The pleasure is all ours. So it's a very, very hot seat where you are. You are the current mayor and you are also running for the re-election. So before we go into any political questions, I want to ask you as a human, long day, only 2 days remaining. How do you feel?
So I do feel confident. I went door to door for about 7 hours today, and I plan to visit many churches tomorrow to continue to get our message out. I would like to say the week started off well. We had a Eid celebration here at my home. My wife and I hosted a block party in honor of the holiday. And I just want to let all the viewers know we've come a long way as a community, particularly the Muslim population. Think about this. We have the call to prayer in Paterson.
Yes.
We have halal menu items for the children in our schools.
Mm-hmm.
We celebrate the preservation of the mother language on February 21st with the Shahad Minar. We also raised the Bangladeshi flag on December 16th in honor of independence. We renamed Union Avenue Bangladesh Boulevard. We opened up City Hall for an community iftar. We light the fannus in honor of Ramadan. And this year on Union Ave and Main Street, we had banners wishing everyone a Ramadan Mubarak. So we've come a long way in 4 years as far as really recognizing and paying respect to the Bangladeshi community.
Absolutely. And I know that you were the one who started with the tradition of iftar at the City Hall.
Yes.
And the special thing, to everyone, all the viewers know, I'm openly saying it, you have been my mayor and my vote goes to you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I see what you do from the passion of your heart, and you have an amazing spouse, an educator, and you being an educator have done a lot throughout, before and after, and bringing up the educational purposes for the younger kids, read the read program that you and Farhana you've been supporting. To me,
Paterson reads, yes.
Yeah, that's where we touching our youth from the bottom, which will be helping out later on. So question, please describe your vision and plan for upcoming 4 years for Paterson.
Yeah, I also want to focus on the last 4 years because I only really had 2 years. This pandemic posed a major problem for us, but I feel like we responded accordingly. We mobilized our community. We have the highest vaccination rate amongst all cities in the state of New Jersey. We were recognized by the state health commissioner, Judy Persicilli, for our efforts in saving lives.
Absolutely.
And so now, because we have to put some projects on pause, now we can push play and continue to position Paterson for progress. How? We've taken derelict properties like the Armory, like Leader Die, and we've actually transformed them. For example, Leader Die will be the site for a new school for Paterson. The Armory will be a mixed-use development, retail and residential. We also have Gromex. It's the largest food distributor in the Northeast, or should I say East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They're relocating from Passaic to Paterson. Job opportunities for Patersonians. And the planning board recently approved a project that would be an Amazon-like warehouse in South Paterson at the old Connell can sign. And that is expected to generate hundreds of jobs.
Yes. Awesome.
So my goal is to continue to position Paterson for progress. And look, I believe we restored integrity, credibility, and stability to City Hall in the wake of the corruption scandal that preceded me. We have a mayor here in Paterson that we can trust.
Awesome. And, we all have witnessed that. I think leadership during crisis really speaks for itself, which you have proven, during pandemic.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. What is the Patterson's greatest economic asset, and how would you use it to improve the economic development?
Yeah, I believe it's the Great Falls. We have
Mhm,
data that shows that the national park indicated that 300,000 people visited the Great Falls last year. Our
mhm.
plan is to build a first class visitor center named for the founder of Paterson, Alexander Hamilton. We're
Awesome.
using state tax credit money, some American Rescue Plan money. We
Mm,
have a reputable real estate developer named Chris Palladino of Devco. They were responsible for transforming New Brunswick. So we're hoping that they can work
wow.
similar magic here in the city of Paterson. And another aspect of the Great Falls project would be creating a river walk by the
Mhm.
falls. We're also restoring Hinchliffe Stadium right by the falls, one of only two still stadiums still standing in the United States of America that hosted Negro League games. I've been knocking on doors in that neighborhood on Liberty and Maple and a whole host of those other streets. And the residents are really encouraged because they're going to finally get something outside of an eyesore. Right now, that's all they have, something that is not very proud to see. We're proud to see.
Mhm.
And the poor students at School 5 peer outside their windows, and what they witness is decay, decline. But
Mhm.
now, Hinchliffe Stadium, when we restore it to its full splendor, will be a symbol of strength for our city.
Awesome. Um, how do you plan to use the 65 million in the American Rescue Funds from the federal government?
Well,
Right.
I listen to a lot of people and they want a recreation center in Paterson. We've never really had a recreation center. So we're going to earmark $20 million to finally build a recreation center, not only for our youth, but for our senior citizens. So there will be more than one purpose and it will span ages, various ages.
Okay.
Yeah, so a recreation center is very important. I've actually looked at other recreation centers, and yes, they accommodate senior citizens as well as young people. We also want to address some infrastructure improvement. For example, River Street, when it rains, it's more river than
Mhm.
street.
Mhm.
So we want to earmark money to repair it, but it also requires repairing the sewer underneath and then resurfacing the road. But yes, from listening to some of my constituents, that is probably the worst stretch of road in the city of Paterson. We also want to earmark money for nonprofit organizations. We also want to earmark money for gun violence interruption. We want to earmark money for mental health, which has been a chronic issue, and crisis management. You talked about that earlier relative to the pandemic and my response.
Mhm.
So we know that crisis management, mental health, those are areas that need to be addressed. And we're going to make money available for organizations to apply to help us resolve some of these issues.
Awesome. I was actually on the road, today because was a Palestinian day today in the South Patterson, and because my son and his friends went out, so we were talking about, what is the need of younger kids? They all are high schoolers, so mixed feelings. They said that, and the thing which actually made me sad is that the kids don't realize that they actually need a stadium. They said, why do we need a stadium? Why do we need to spend money on that? So I said that, why not? And why would you not want to have a stadium in how many things would that bring within the city of Paris? And just think about it. If we have a stadium, the revenue, the people coming, and so many other opportunities. So the thing that I realized here, that our kids not as enthusiastic uh, for not having a stadium. So what can be done about that?
Yeah, well, a lot of my focus has been to invest in our youth because it's arguably the best investment you can make. And I felt like our fields were in need of improvement. So I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Buckley Field on Chamberlain Avenue, we renovated it for $1 million. Now they play soccer there, they play baseball, they play football. Then we went to Brandy's Field on Marshall and Hazel, $1 million makeover, and same playing soccer and baseball and softball. Then the Putnam Oval, we renovated that for $1 million. New
Mhm.
lights, new field, new fence, and they're playing baseball and practicing football there. Riverside Oval is next. And then I'm also proud of the fact we also are repairing the Bowerly Fieldhouse. It's
Mhm.
locker room space for our student athletes, and it was substandard. So we've made exterior improvements. Now we move on to the interior. So we make progress there. And I'm also proud of the fact that prior to my administration, Paterson did not have any playgrounds that accommodated children with autism. Now we have two. We have one downtown at the Lou Costello Park and one on Market Street at Roberto Clemente Park. Two playgrounds to accommodate children with autism.
Awesome. Actually, we also have a playground for the dogs as well.
Dog park.
Dog park too. Yeah. Okay. What is your plan for affordable housing?
So we have 4 affordable housing projects underway, which equates to about 500 units. Let
Hmm.
me break it down for you. There's one on Mill Street. It's called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. So it's senior citizen affordable housing,
Okay.
and that's 75 units. Then at Hinchcliffe Stadium, we have another affordable housing unit project. That's another 75 units for senior citizens, affordable housing. Then we have on the river at Riverside on Fifth Avenue, 261 units split between senior citizens and low income families. And then here's one that's really innovative. It focuses on housing and how that is healthcare. Housing is healthcare.
Hmm.
So there's 56 units coming at Barclay Street to address chronic homelessness, because what the hospital is doing, Barclay is right outside of the hospital, within the zone actually,
Hmm.
and what homeless individuals are doing, they're seeking shelter in the emergency room at the hospital. So we know they need something permanent, and that's why we're building all those affordable housing units right by the hospital.
Awesome. How would you overcome the city stigma of crime, drugs, littering, and panhandling? So
Well, we got our work cut out for us, right? I talked about the pandemic. It
yeah.
made everything worse. It amplified everything. It was like an X-ray was performed on our society, and it shows so many broken bones. So we want to repair those broken bones. Yes, some of it will be policing. We are hiring more police officers in the summer, and then we're going to have over 20 new police officers enter our next police academy.
Okay.
So that'll help us there. We've been confiscating lots of guns. Last year we took 219 off our streets. The year before, 200. We've already taken over 50 this year alone. So we're
Hmm.
hyper focused on getting illegal weapons off of our streets.
There's still increase in crime level, which is a sad part. What do you think of that?
Okay, so actually from 21 to 20, there was a slight decrease in certain areas.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm not unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's a byproduct of the pandemic. People have become so desperate,
Hmm.
whether it's money or drugs or just not being able to resolve conflicts, that you're starting to see an increase in crime, which is not isolated to Paterson. This is a national trend right
It
now.
is. It is. You're right. Another question about the poor conditions of the Patterson roads. That's
Yeah, you're going to see, and I don't know if you've seen it already. We're starting to resurface the roads, so it's all about the weather. It
okay.
has to be conducive to resurfacing, and the weather is going to improve, and
Okay.
we're going to improve the roadways.
So, what is your message as a current mayor with whatever situations going on? I know it's a hot message.
Yeah,
So, as a current mayor, what is your message?
I believe that I'm the leader we still need. We haven't put this pandemic behind us, and I'd like to lead us through this once in a century crisis so that we can continue positioning Patterson for progress. How so? We have the Financial Empowerment Center that I want you to promote. It's at the Center City Mall, operating in the office of the United Way. And we've been there since June, and we've helped over 500 people at the Financial Empowerment Center repair their credit score, reduce their debt, and be put on a path to first-time home ownership in Paterson.
Okay. I know the time actually flew so fast.
Time flies when you're talking to Commissioner Amber.
Thank you so much. Your message as a candidate for re-election.
Yeah.
You want to say and reach out to people. Oh, there's another question if you can see on the screen.
Sure. I just missed it.
Yeah, Farah, if you can please put the question. It's from Angela Thomas.
Right, about panhandlers. So we have secured grant funding to address what the root cause of this is: drugs. They're coming for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have an initiative called Real Fix. We set up a hotline and we piloted this. People who are struggling with opioid use disorder can call the hotline, and we connect those individuals with a doctor. The doctor makes a prescription. The pharmacist will deliver it. It's medically assisted treatment, Suboxone. And then hopefully we can not only get that person the medically assisted treatment, but put that person, he or she, on connected with a counselor. That should help with drug addiction.
That's awesome. It's not only helping, it's actually reconnecting them. At the same time, Passaic County Community College is opening a certificate program for hemp certification. It's gonna be a 6 weeks program, and the fees it's a small fee, but it's to certify people to handle pain management.
Very good.
So now I will let you give your last
Commissioner,
message.
thank you. Channel 52, one of my favorites. And I'm really encouraged by the fact that people seem to be motivated right now about this election. They know what the stakes are. Mm-hmm. It's very consequential. And I will point out that, like I stated before, we restored honesty to City Hall. And that's why you're seeing so much interest as far as investment is concerned. $800 million in investment in 4 years alone. And let me give you a very salient data point. When I took office in 2018, we had 1,200 abandoned properties. Now we have 400. That's a 70% decrease. Of the people we hired last year, 204 new employees, 191 were from Paterson. So 90% of the hires, Patersonians. We want to empower our people. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing. We're positioning Paterson for progress.
Thank you so much, Mayor. With this, I would be coming to a closure, and I have my personal request to all the audience and people watching later on our show that, we know our mayor, how he has acted, previously and during pandemic. And as I said before, a leader in crisis is actually on the slate for us to see what he's doing.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And we all have seen it, and you have done an amazing job in many different ways, seniors and others and kids, and in every way. So I wish you all the best, and we all know what to do, and the number is 1A.
You know it. First on your ballots, and hopefully first in your hearts.
Inshallah. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Amber.
You're very welcome for joining us tonight.
Take care. Bye-bye.